Okay. ఇప్పుడు 500 స్టూడెంట్స్ అండి.
లేదు మేడం, 95 స్టూడెంట్స్ అండ్ ద రెస్ట్ ఆర్ టీచర్స్. విల్ హ్యావ్ ఓన్లీ 100+.
ఓకే ఓకే.
ఆకివీడ్లో మిషనరీ స్కూల్ మేడం.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Shriman, you're back?
Yes, ma'am.
Back on the very next day, ma'am.
Oh, no. The other day, Dr. Selja was telling me there was a issue in your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Involved in an accident.
My sister, ma'am.
Yo.
School people are just logging in, man.
Okay, Selja, no problem.
వాళ్ళకి 1 o'clock lunch అంట. They are gathering the students up. అందుకని 1 అంటే లేదు, మనం 1 కి లంచ్ 1:30కి స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అన్నారు ఆవిడ.
Okay.
Evening MTPD, I'll start the session, madam. 5 o'clock start chesi, 6 o'clock I leave. Uma madam will take over and finish the session. I have to go to Dr. MC Patel's webinar.
అదే ఈ రోజు ఇంకోటి ఉంది కదా వాక్స్.
మీరు ఈ రోజు రిజిస్టర్ అయ్యారా మేడం?
అబార్షన్ దానికి రిజిస్టర్ అయ్యాను.
ఈ రోజు దానికా మేడం? 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Somebody is logging in with the name of Kiran Tummalapalli.
ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి ఇండివిడ్యువల్ గా కంప్యూటర్స్ ఉండి
వాళ్ళని అందరినీ ఒక చోట కూర్చోబెట్టి ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. One of the teachers is logging into project it. Kiran Tummalapalli అని పేరు వస్తుంది కదా.
ఓకే. అంటే ఇక్కడ నిడమర్లో కూడా వాళ్ళకి ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ కది ప్రొజెక్టర్ స్క్రీన్ అదంతా ఒక రూమ్
ఉంటే చాలు మేడం. స్టూడెంట్స్ ని ఎంతమందిని కూర్చోబెట్టగలిగితే అంతమందిని కూర్చోబెట్టి చేసేయచ్చు. Anything more than 100, less than 500, it will support, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Good evening, Sister Agnes. There she is, the principal.
Okay. Good evening, sister. You have to unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, Sister Agnes. Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening, sister.
Welcome.
Yeah. Can we start the program? All the students are ready?
Yes, yes. Yes, we are ready.
Okay, fine. Can we keep the screen so that we can see the students?
How to see now? Sir, how they will be seeing the students?
We can see you. Need to see.
Yes, now it is better.
Yeah. You have made it dark so that they can see the projector clearly, na?
Yes,
looking very dark. Yeah, that's the projector.
Yeah. We would rather see the children.
See the students only, sister. We'll
Yeah.
see the students. Put it towards the students only.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Good evening, all the students of St. Aloysius High School. Very good evening to Sister Agnes, who agreed for us to do this program. Today we have 3 gynecologists who have come to speak to you about Dheera program, which is mainly about saying no to violence against women. This program was envisioned by Dr. Santakumari, is the president of FOXY, which is a federation of gynecological societies all over India. We are around 36,000 lady doctors all over India working towards this cause. Before we start this program, I would like all of you to listen to our president, Dr. Santakumari. Then we'll go ahead and start this program. Timan, please play the video.
Dear friends, Foxians, and the women of my country, I am Dr. Shanta Kumari, President of the Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecological Societies of India. As a doctor and a woman myself, I have observed very closely how prevalent violence against women is across the strata of our society and the enormous impact it has on the health of our women. My theme for the year as the President Foxy is Foxy for all always, and Dheera, stop violence against women.
Dr. Shanta Kumari, who has relentlessly campaigned for the issues of girl child. I was happy to be the ambassador of Foxy Figure Ox in 2013, and I hope that me being an ambassador has motivated a lot of girls and many families.
Violence against women is a serious human rights violation, leading to injury and sometimes even death. Unfortunately, 1 in 3 women experience some sort of physical and sexual violence during their lifetime. Violence in pregnancy is also widely prevalent, leading to unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, neglected pregnancies with no antenatal care, all these contributing to maternal morbidity and near miss. As obstetricians and gynecologists, we have a great opportunity to assess and support women who experience violence because of the unique opportunity where we get to see them during the pregnancy, during the family planning visits, during their annual checkups, and multiple other times when they come to us. I strongly believe that by eliminating the violence against women, we are not only reaching the SDG goals, but also creates a just and equal society for our women. Until we make men and boys active partners, we can never end the violence against women. In an endeavor to sensitize our own fraternity, my initiative of Dheera was started to eliminate violence against women.
I completely support her vision and mission as President Foxy and also especially support her campaign, Dheera, Stop Violence Against Women.
It was in 2016 at the launch of Dheera. We brought together the police, the obstetrician gynecologists, the National Commission for Women, the women and men on one single platform to wear orange and say no to violence against women. We organized the public forum and cyclothon to launch Dheera. In 2017 at the Foxy Figo Congress, we partnered with men and organized the bikeathon and the flash mob. The high point of Dheera was at the International Figo Congress at Rio, Brazil in 2018. The declaration on no to violence against women was signed with Figo and WHO. It was here global societies pledged their support to end this violence against women. The Dheera campaign and march at the World Congress of Figo in Rio in 2018 got wide international publicity. No change is possible unless the young minds adopt it and make it a part of their life. Young minds are open and creative. They accept change. Foxy has always worked with adolescents for their health and well-being. Dheera this year adds a new page. I'm happy to share with you all that we are launching the Dheera online school certification course across the length and breadth of our country in all the schools. Foxy for all always. Dheera, stop violence against women.
You heard our President Dr. Santakumari tell you how she has been working on this since the last 6 years. It took so long and so much of hard work for this to reach you today. To begin with, I am starting telling you what exactly is violence against women and what role Dheera plays in this. What exactly is violence against women and how Dheera plays into this? I am speaking about what is Dheera and what is violence against women and the types of war. The next doctors will be speaking about the management of war, what is the role of bystanders, bridging gender gap, and about peer pressure. All of you have done registration and pre-test over the last few days. I'm telling you, after this session of 2 hours is completed, please do the post-test and feedback. Only then you will be awarded the certificate by UNICEF and Foxy. What exactly does Dheera mean? It means courageous, the power of being courageous together. All of us are tweeting hashtag Dheera together in Twitter. At the outset, let me tell you, not every man practices violence against women, but it is certainly a sad truth that all women live with the threat of male violence every single day all over the earth. This was said by Ford Alcubero. All of you must be reading in your civics books about your rights, your duties. Our basic human rights are things like right to having education, having shelter, and we all have a right to live our life without any kind of fear. This violence against women is a terrible violation of that global human right. It has so much of short-term and long-term consequences the perpetrators don't understand. The woman who undergoes this violence is affected physically, psychologically, and economically. Whatever capacity they have to participate in society and contribute their worth, they are not able to do because of this violence. And it has immeasurable magnitude of impact on society. And since the last 1.5 to 2 years, you have been having online classes because of this COVID pandemic. We have had lockdowns. This has reduced our mobility, increased our isolation and stress, and increased the economic uncertainty of people. All these have led to an alarming increase in domestic violence at home. Have you ever seen any woman being beaten, threatened, or scolded in your surroundings? Do you really think this is right? And what exactly is such behavior called? Is there any particular word to describe it? Let us go ahead and see. It is called violence against women. Wow. This is a shameful violation of human rights, and there is no boundary to this. It's there all over the world, irrespective of the country, even in the rich territories, rich people, in the advanced cultures also. And as long as this violence continues, we really can't have any equality or development of our countries or any peace in this world. See this picture. At the outset, you think it's a male and a female dancing happily together. But in the background, the male is forcing the woman to live in fear. This fear may be physical, mental, or sexual. Why is this violence of women? Why is this grown as such a strong tree? The roots deep rooted. There are many causes which one by one I will be going through. Look at this picture itself tells us a boy is always given a preference, he is given choices while a girl is being neglected because they are considered burdens. Can you believe it? A female baby is killed even when it is in its mother's womb, even before it is born and comes onto this earth, or immediately after the girl is born, the baby is killed simply because it's a girl. How terrible it is, and female health issues have been terribly neglected. What is patriarchy? Telugulo Pitruswamya Samajam antaru. All of you must have seen at your home, at your school, most of the times decisions are taken by males and women are not given the freedom or the choice to make their opinions heard. Decision making mainly rests with the male in the family. This is called a patriarchal system of society. What is gender stereotype? see these characters being faithful, emotional, tolerant, sympathetic, dependent. Girls are expected to be all these, and boys, they say, should be competitive, aggressive, independent. This is not correct. Boys can be dependent, boys can be emotional, boys can be faithful, and a girl can also achieve by being aggressive, independent, and competitive. There is no character which should be fixed that it is either a girl or a boy should be like. Sexism, that is prejudice based on the sex of the person, and stereotyping, a girl should be like this, a boy should be like this, and discriminating against women specifically because they are females. And toxic masculinity. A boy has always been taught you should be strong, you should not cry, you will control, you are the boss and the savior. Boys, please understand, you can be emotional, you can vent out your emotions. It is okay to reach out for help. You can be dependent on somebody. There's nothing wrong to be dependent on somebody or expressing your emotions. You need not be like that. You need not be bossy or have the feeling that I will control everything simply because you are a male. This tendency, this attitude that males should be like this is taking a terrible toll on the mental health of males. Your mental health also matters, and your mental health is very important as your physical health. Why we lady doctors have come to talk about violence against women? That is because we are the first points of contact for the family and can recognize changes in their lifestyle, because serious health problems can result in females during their pregnancy or otherwise because of violence targeted against them. That is where we come to interact with them at the first point, and we realize how much their life is getting affected by this violence. Why Dheera? This Dheera campaign has been founded by our Foxy president, Dr. Santakumari, to stop this terrible violence against women. And it's an all-India initiative to sensitize 5 lakh boys and girls of your age and 15,000 teachers by us, 36,000 plus lady doctors. Parents, teachers, teach boys to respect women. He's all waiting and watching and listening to us. Whatever you say, whatever your behavior is, please remember boys are watching us. Together, we should be courageous. Tweet the hashtag Dheera together. Our target is 1 lakh tweets. So add your courageous voice to this conversation and say no to violence against women. This is a reminder again for your post-test and feedback. Madam, I'm going ahead with my next presentation.
Yes, Dr. Selja, we'll finish off. Can we otherwise ask for any comments from the teacher, any doubts they have?
Sister Agnes, any interaction, any questions from the side of the students or teachers we would like to address at any point of time, they can stop us, ask us. We'll go ahead with the next session. If you want to speak at the end of this session, or now if somebody wants to speak, most well.
If you have any doubt regarding what doctor has spoken, do you have any doubts? No doubt. So what did she explain now? Did you understand? Boys? They understand. Afterwards, there will be test learning how to complete the test. Okay, so listen carefully. If you have any doubt, raise your hand immediately. You can ask and clarify it. In between also, because they are seeing you. You understand? So far, no doubt, no.
Okay, we'll go ahead with our next session, sister. We'll speak to them after this.
Sure, continue.
Sister Agnes, Selja, you start sharing your screen. By the end of Dr. Selja's talk, we would like one girl to come and highlight 2 or 3 points which is understood and she liked, and even a boy to tell us the same. so that only when they come out and speak will they really realize the depth of the subject. Otherwise, it will be like we're just talking, they're listening, and then everyone will forget it. So we wanted someone to come forward by the end of Dr. Selja's talk. So one girl, one boy. Okay, Selja, go ahead.
You understand? If you understand what the doctor
Since I've spoken to you about what exactly is violence against women, now we'll look into what are the types of violence against women. They can be either physical violence, psychological violence, or a combination of both. We'll go into each one of them. This is a reminder again for your post-test and feedback after this entire session is completed so that you get your certificate from UNICEF and Foxy. Physical violence. Do you recognize this girl? It's Lakshmi Agarwal, who at the tender age of 15 years in 2005 was attacked with acid simply because she said no to the romantic advances of a guy who was 32 years old. Every girl has a right to say no if she does not like anything which a male is proposing. You should respect her choice, and this is no way to treat a girl. This is being used as a form of blackmail, and the movie Chapak was made based on this incident. This girl had to undergo multiple surgeries. She went through a lot of pain, but still took the courage to come forward and speak to the world about her experience. What should you do if an attack is threatened or attempted? Immediately report to any adult you trust, your parents, your teachers, your sisters, or the police, and make sure you stay away from the person who is threatening you. Always travel in groups. Under section 326B IPC, a person, if he is threatening to do such a thing, can be imprisoned for up to 5 to 7 years. If somebody is attacked, make sure that you get your treatment as soon as possible and report the attack to your adults and stay away from the person who is doing it. Report it to the authorities. The person can be charged and imprisonment can be there if he really attacks up to 10 years, and which may extend to imprisonment for life. And he will be charged with the medical expenses of the victim also. What is honor killing? Paruvu Hatchalu, సినిమాల్లో చూపిస్తా ఉంటారు కదా. A girl after completion of 18 years has every right to decide who she wants to lead her life with, who she wants to marry. But if a family thinks that the girl has chosen a person who does not belong to their community, they take it as a matter of reputation damage and are killing the girl and her boy. This is called honor killing. How shameful. And every adult has a right to decide about their life. What is femicide? This is a gender-based crime when a society prefers males over females. It can be infanticide, as I told you before, that is killing of a newborn female child, or a feticide, that is aborting a fetus even before it is born when it is inside its mother's womb. Sexual assault, where a man touches a woman or compels her to get naked forcefully without her consent. Any such act comes under the sexual assault, which is punishable under section 354 IPC with up to 5 years imprisonment. The persons who do this do not understand how much of mental trauma the victim undergoes once she faces a sexual assault. The person is scot-free after the imprisonment, but the girl cannot forget through her lifetime. It keeps replaying in her memory, and she can't interact normally with people after this unless she decides strongly to move forward. If you see sexual assault taking place, do stop it or call them, even if it is your friend who is doing it. You remember the Nirbhaya episode in Delhi, which brought the Nirbhaya Act in 2013. Section 375 IPC protects women against any form of rape, and 354A IPC protects against unwanted physical contact. Nobody has a right to touch you without your saying yes. The POCSO Act 2012 protects minors from sexual abuse. Even children are being sexually assaulted. If you are a survivor, please do not shame yourself. It is not your fault. Do not wash yourself. Don't change your clothes. Your body and your clothes might have evidence which might incriminate the criminal. Write down what happened, inform the police, and report in a timely manner so that there is evidence. Do not be afraid to speak. You are never at fault. And if you do not report an action of this sort, that person is bound to repeat this action. Today you have suffered, tomorrow somebody else will suffer. Even if you see somebody doing it to somebody you know or you don't know, please report this so that you stop it at that point of time. Coming to psychological violence, can be financial manipulation where a girl is not given a right or control over the money, whether she is earning or not earning. She has to take permission from the male of the family to spend a single penny. They try to, the in-laws or the husband or the males in the family try to control over her resources, withholding access to money. There can be emotional abuse where a person is constantly criticized. They call her names, they damage their relationship with the children, they don't allow them to meet close friends or family because of jealousy. The signs of emotional abuse are, they'll make you feel guilty for no fault of yours. They'll threaten to hurt themselves. Whatever you do is not good enough for them. They blame you for anything which goes wrong in their life. They embarrass you in front of others. They feel jealous when you are close to someone else. Like the root cause of this behavior will be somewhere else. Suppose husband is less educated than his wife, or he earns less than her wife. If he is mocked at by his colleagues, his ego is hurt. He takes out that frustration on his wife by frequent rage behavior, yelling at her, blackmailing, threatening of divorcing her. This constant fault-finding behavior will take a huge toll on the mental health of that girl. Bullying, or what you call ragging in colleges, is a continuous harassment which can be verbal or physical. Please remember, this is punishable. If a senior asks a girl to come out and she doesn't come, he is embarrassed. He tries to cover up that by starting a rumor that that girl is bad, harasses her every day, encourages his friends also to do the same, and teases her whenever he sees her. You see something like this happening, what should you do and whom should you contact? Just think over. We'll be going about this in our next sessions. And all of you have had access to technology in the last 1.5 to 2 years for your studies. But this technology is also being misused through cyberbullying. This is an online form of abuse where they write aggressive, embarrassing, or hateful messages to harass you, shame you, or control you. They share sexually explicit messages, create fake accounts, or steal online identities. And unfortunately, females are twice more likely to be victims of this cyberbullying. There are many types of cyberbullying. They can exclude you from including in a group which they have formed online, or they can damage your reputation in family or friends by spreading gossip about you, create fake account in your name, constantly post or send offensive messages to you, create a fake account in your name and ask for money and take your personal information by speaking to you nicely and then share it publicly to humiliate you, or follow you online continuously. That is called cyber stalking. Every form of this cyber crime is punishable. If you're being cyber bullied, check that platform's anti-bullying policy. Get in contact with the customer service representatives if you do not understand the policy. You take screenshots of whatever they have sent you, share them as evidence, then block them and report to the cyber investigation cell. You can file a criminal complaint against them. Cyberbullying is not a joke. If unable to report to cyber cell, lodge an FIR in a police station or reach women-oriented she teams. What is stalking? When an individual follows a woman, either physically or digitally, continuously, wherever she goes, she finds out which tuition she is attending, which yoga classes or dance classes she is taking. He joins us the same class. This is something you see in movies and think this is a heroic act. Please understand you are causing lot of mental trauma to a female when you follow her like this. And this stalking is punishable under section 354D IPC for up to 3 years. Voyeurism, the watching or taking pictures of women without her consent and without her knowledge is punishable for up to 3 years imprisonment under section 354C IPC. And if this action is repeated, they can be imprisoned for up to 7 years. Keep teasing, that is unwanted remarks or sexual advances by a man in a public place. Section 294 IPC punishes these men if they speak in an obscene way with a maximum 3 months punishment. If he uses an object to insult a woman, he can be punished up to 3 years. When someone is threatening you to cause grievous hurt or death or destroy your property, this is criminal intimidation punishable under section 503 Indian Penal Code for up to 2 years. As we previously discussed, sexual harassment in any form can be reported under section 354A IPC, punishable up to 3 years of imprisonment. To take a case study, suppose a farmer has applied for a loan from somebody for his farming. He loses considerable amount of crop because of floods. Then he is unable to repay his loan. He makes his daughter work for the person from whom he took his loan so that he can repay in that way. That person who has given loan takes this as an advantage and harasses her sexually. This is wrong. She need not tolerate this sexual harassment. A combination of physical and psychological violence is happening at homes. It need not be between a married couple. It can be any person at home who is trying to gain power or control over a partner by subjecting her to physical and psychological violence. Please remember the words LOVE are just there. Letters are there in the word violence. Where violence exists, there cannot be any love. Most of the victims do not really understand that they are being abused and they can't believe that a trusted partner could be so manipulative. This can be from the in-laws, husbands, anybody at home. Examples of this domestic violence is using economic abuse, as I told previously, trying to manipulate them financially, use the male privilege, intimidating them before children, denying them their rights, isolating them, emotionally abusing them, and threatening them. This becomes a vicious cycle. In the beginning, honeymoon atmosphere will be there. Slowly, they start abusing you. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. You don't know what you do will be wrong, what you do will be right. You'll be silent for a long time. You'll be bearing all this. Suddenly, if you revolt and explode, they apologize, they break down. Then it will be a temporary period of relief. They'll ask for excuse, minimize the abuse, blame themselves. Again, the cycle starts. You have to put an end to this at some point of time. The Domestic Violence Act 2005 covers all sorts of abuse, physical, sexual, verbal, or economic, and it grants immediate protection if it is reported and punishes the abuser with imprisonment up to 3 years. This violence against women, we don't say we can bring it to a halt suddenly. One step at a time, all of us must bring a change in our mindset, our line of thought, and put an end to this at some point of time. Another reminder for your post-test and feedback, after which you will be awarded the certificate. And let us all together tweet #Dheera together and add 1 lakh courageous voices and say no to violence against women. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And like Dr. Padmaja said, we would like one girl and a boy to come forward and speak what they've understood until now about what I told you. Anything you have not understood, anything you want to say?
Even if one of the teachers can come forward, it is fine for us.
You come forward to speak. The screenshot of your picture with all of us will be taken and sent to UNICEF. Yeah, somebody has come forward. Great.
Yes, good.
Sit down. Tell us your name.
My name is Elvis Sailikit. I am from 10th class.
A little louder.
My name is Elvis Sailikit.
Okay.
I am from 10th class in Central High School. I understood that there is a foundation founded by the Foxy and by Dr. Santkumari. Dheera means courageous, the power of it together.
Oh, great.
Great.
A loud applause for this boy. Claps, please. Thank you. On behalf of Dr. Santkumari, big thank you.
There are 3 types of violence against women: psychological violence, and
Oh.
physical violence, and domestic violence.
Great.
Physical violence are divided into acid attacks, femicide, sexual assault. By sexual assault, if anybody are attempted it, they are present 1 to 5 years by the 354 section.
We are not expecting you to remember the sections, but only please understand that any sort of violence is punishable. You have to report. You just have to be courageous to report to your adult. Just don't tolerate any sort of violence. We are not saying only girls are undergoing violence. Next sessions will be telling you even boys are facing violence. Even men are being ill-treated. Boys or girls, do not tolerate any type of violence. Just raise your voice and say no to violence. And together say no to violence against women, which is very common in our country.
Apart from this, also we have to have a good mind and good humble nature. We have to stop the violence against women. So we have to all this. We have to have a good mind to stop the violence against women.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for coming forward, for being courageous and speaking so much.
So from girl side, teachers also.
Teacher has come forward. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sisters and resource persons. So I am a science teacher. So I feel very happy about the wonderful knowledge given to the adolescent stage. What are the problems also facing the violence among the current period? I appreciate as a science teacher about that. What you have given.
Thank you,
More
sir.
useful to the children.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Wonderful knowledge given to my students. My heartfelt thanks to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
These slides will be provided to the school so that later on also it can be an ongoing program and for the future children also who come.
Okay,
You can run them any number of times and take these sessions any number of times in your school, sir. We'll be sending you the PPT.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Raja madam, will you start the next session?
Yes, ma'am. They asked to come to speak there of why came to the already. Silent came and
Madam, please start sharing.
Yeah, I'm doing. Can you see?
No, madam.
Now slideshow.
No, madam, we can't see your screen at all.
You should put share screen and share that one window that is open, madam.
Okay, okay.
At the bottom of your screen, you can see share screen, madam. Just click over it.
You please do, no?
Yeah, I will do that. I'll do it. No problem. Yes, madam. Can you see now?
No, ma'am. No.
You can't see the screen, madam? Have you minimized the Zoom or because we can see you?
Just a
See
minute.
the slide?
Just a minute. I am seeing my slides. What I have
You have the Zoom one open, madam. Otherwise, close. Selja, you're muted.
And if you click on the Zoom icon present in the bar below.
It is not coming, ma'am.
Can you see us, madam?
No, no.
No, you are not in the Zoom, madam. You are in your PPT.
Yeah.
Close your PowerPoint.
Just move your mouse. You can see the Zoom icon in the bar below.
It is not seen. Why?
Move the mouse down, madam. Otherwise, close your PowerPoint.
Close your PPT, madam.
If it is on slideshow, you can click escape.
Click escape, madam.
Sorry, I could not do that.
No, madam. On your keyboard, you click escape. Upper left, upper end, there is escape button. You click escape.
I have done that.
So now you can see the toolbar below, down.
Yes. Yeah.
In that you have a blue box with a video camera, the Zoom platform.
Yeah.
Click on that, madam.
Zoom bar. This audio is there.
But can you now see? Can you see us, madam?
Yes, I can see you.
You can see the slide?
Yes.
So start the presentation.
Okay, good evening, boys and girls. Now you have heard from Dr. Sailaja about what are the types of, what is violence against women and what are the types of violence against women. So now I am going to tell you how to manage this violence against women. And at this point, I want to tell you why Foxy has initiated to train only boys and girls. Because in South Africa also, they are training the boys how to respect the girls, and if something happens to the girls, how to overcome it and how to fight. On the same thing, I think our President Santa Kumari has designed this program, I think, because you will be seeing so many types of this violence against women, so many types, but you may not understand this is violence and you have to stop. So because of that, with that intention only, this whole program was formed. Okay. Now I will tell you how to manage if you see any violence against women, the forms you have learned from the previous speaker, no? So first we will introduction and role of what is the role of bystanders and what is how to bridge the gender divide. Okay, next. All of you might have registered, and this is a reminder for post-test and feedback, then only we'll get the certificates. And as the previous speaker explained, what is the root cause of this violence against women, like gender bias. Gender bias means you are a girl, you have to do only this, you should not do anything, like that. Boys are has to be like this, you have to do only this. That is called gender bias. And social discrimination. In society also, girls are discriminated. They have to be like this. These people have to be like this. And under the influence of some drugs also, they may do violence against women. And this troubled childhood is very important. Suppose a child sees her mother or father abusing mother, and he thinks, oh, this is the thing I have to do when I grow up. And it is happening also. The boys in their adulthood, when they are abusing his wife, and they are telling, my father used to do like this, so I am doing this to you. So this troubled childhood is the cause of violence against women. And lack of compassion. Suppose a child is crying, he don't show sympathy, and this is called lack of compassion. Under influence of alcohol also, they will abuse. You might be seeing on the TV shows or movies, father coming drunk and abusing the wife and all that. So under the influence of alcohol also, this is happening. And superiority complex. Boys think they are superior and they are strong. They can beat a girl, or they can do something. Okay. Under the stress of earning money or achieving something, they will vent out their anger on the woman. That is anger issues and stress. So all these factors will contribute to violence against women. Okay, next. And they will have that mindset. As I told you, no, in childhood, they might have seen their fathers or brothers abusing their sisters or mothers. So child has grown in that atmosphere. He will have that mindset. Okay, next. So what do you do if somebody is abusing a girl, or in your neighbor? Suppose one person is beating a woman. So what you have to do? First of all, you don't afraid. You be brave, and you listen what that girl or woman is telling, and you tell them, be brave, nothing will happen, I will support you, like that. You reassure, and whatever they are telling, you believe their story. No, you don't say, you are telling all cock and bull stories like that. Kakamma kadalu and antar in Telugulo. You don't say like that. You believe their story, and you do not blame the victim. You have done like this, that's why he is abusing you. Like that, you don't say. You support the victim, and you keep an eye on the situation. What is going on? Is he only verbal threatening, or he is beating, or he will with a knife he want to stab her, like that? You observe the situation and how it is becoming dangerous and all that. And you ask what is their immediate plans, what they want to do, whether to report to the higher authorities, if suppose in a school reporting you to a teacher, or the child reporting to the parent, or they may want to go to the police station and report it. And whatever they decide, you respect their decision, and you tell them, I was there, I will help you, whatever you want, I will help you. And you also be careful that any actions taken do not harm that victim. Okay, then. And what you do if you are abused? suppose a girl is abused, what she has to do? And she has to recognize that boy is toxic, and he won't stop at this time, and he will go on abusing me. So first you protect yourself. That means, by protecting means, you go away from that abuser and you don't argue with that one. Heated exchanges must not be there. Okay? That is, avoid escalating the situations. And otherwise, you can report this incident to your teacher or your parent or somebody. And you also can record that abuse, taking a photograph, etc. And you always plan some safety kit in your purse, like carrying a pepper spray or some knife in your purse. Suppose if you are going in a hurry, you tell your parent or somebody that you are going somewhere in a hurry, and let someone you know that you are going there. Okay? Then, okay, suppose you are abused, don't stay mum. Okay, don't let the abuser rob you of your voice. You have to raise your voice. And if you raise your voice, he will say, she is not silent. She won't tolerate my abuse. Oh, she has some strength. Okay, so you have to raise your voice. You should not do like this. You can say you should not do like this. Okay, don't let the abuser rob you of your voice. Claiming your voice back is difficult, but believe your words have power. Speaking up is the first step to end the violence. And take a stand, because your abuser is afraid of your voice. I'm telling you, no, you can raise your voice. You can oppose him. Okay? Then. And don't let down another generation of victims. So you give the victim a platform to speak. As previously we said, you believe the victim, you believe their story. Yes, it has happened. No, it is not happened. You believe the victim. Don't blame the victim. And you stand for them. If some wrong is going to happen, you have to stand up for the justice. And don't let people forget that once someone commits abuse, they are prone to doing it again and again. Okay? Oh, okay. Just now he said, he may stop it. Don't think like that. He may come again and he will do the same thing. Okay. Then while you are going, now so many apps are there. You can download them and you can use them. Like Smart Sheher Woman Safety Shield Protection, Another is With You, Scream Alarm, Suspects Registry, Be Safe, Abhaya. And whenever you are going, you share your location to your friend or someone who trusts you. And if you are going in a taxi, you take the picture of taxi driver and his license plate and share it with your friends or your siblings or parents. And in case of emergency, you activate location and that app. Okay. And another thing, distress signal. This is the help signal. You are seeing on the screen, no? You have to fold your thumb and fold your 4 fingers like this. Okay? This is called distress signal. Suppose you see this signal around you, you think somebody is in danger and you have to help them. And you teach your neighbors or your home about this signal also, about this distress signal. And if you see the distress signal, check in with the person's safety. to find out what they need and what you can do for them. Okay? If you find a threat of danger, call the local police and the helplines. We will provide you the helplines. These are the various helplines. One is All India Women Helpline, Women in Distress, that is 1091, and Domestic Abuse Helpline 181, like that. Police helpline is 100. Okay, then, and some specialized helplines also are there. These things you can take a picture and keep it with you. Childline helpline, that is very important, 1098. Okay, then. And what is the reporting process? You have seen somebody is abused and that person wants to report. So this is the reporting process. Report the incident to local police or special police unit. Now this woman police stations are there, no? They are telling she teams and all that. You can report to them. And record the statement for police within 24 hours. You have to remember that one. And go to a hospital or shelter home for a medical examination by a female doctor and record statement for the magistrate. And all these things have to be investigated by a special court, and it should be completed within 1 year. You will be hearing, no, this case has taken so many years, 10 years, 20 years. What is the use? It has to be addressed in a small amount of time. That's why the special court has to clear within 1 year this trial. Okay, then, so girls are strong. You believe that strong girls are strong, and so let us keep them that way. Okay, then, so this is again reminder for posters and your feedback, and you have to submit and you will get the certificates. A courageous together, say no to violence against women, hashtag Dheera together. Let us tweet together, you all of you. Our target is 1 lakh voices, and raise your voice against violence against women. Okay.
Thank you, madam. That was a wonderful elaboration.
Thank you. Thank
Made
you.
it very easy for the students. Students, prepare yourself. After the next session of Lakshmi Rajam madam, somebody is going to come forward and show me what is the universal distress signal. Madam will share the next session.
Yes.
I'm doing it for you.
Our girl is coming forward. I can see her.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show me the universal distress signal. Now first tell me your name.
Madam. I'm G.
What?
G. Likita from 9th class.
Very good.
Okay.
Show the distress signal.
Show us the universal. Yeah. Great.
Yes, that's great.
Good. Very good.
So can we have a raise of hands of everyone to show the signal once more?
All of you raise your hands and show us the universal distress signal.
Raise your hand.
Yes. This is the universal distress signal.
So anytime you see this signal, remember that we need to go into help. Okay?
They are not able to outwardly tell us. They are giving us a signal that they are in trouble. They need help.
Okay, Nikita, go ahead. We're waiting. We're listening.
And that Dheera is to stop the violence against women.
Yes.
And we have 3 types: psychological violence.
Okay, noted it down.
Yeah.
Emotional abuse, bullying, stalking, eve teasing. We have section 294 IPC in eve teasing.
Okay. Let's ask me something else. which was a recent movie which showed voyeurism, taking pictures without the permission of the girl. A sequel also came for that movie.
So all of you don't watch movies? That's also a good habit.
What's the name of that movie? The boy took pictures of the girl without her permission, because of which he landed in trouble. The family suffered a lot. The sequel of that film also came recently.
Drishyam.
Oh,
Yes,
very good.
very good, very good, very good.
So what the boy did was wrong. The girl should have immediately reported to family before all that mishap happened.
And
Thank you, Nikita.
Nikita, tell us what you felt about the whole program. You watched it, you understood it, that is great. How do you feel about the program? Do you think it was useful? Do you think it will be beneficial? So say something.
That's nice program. Women get beneficial because of this program. It's very useful to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
On behalf of Dr. Santakumari, thank you very much. Lakshmi Rajam Madam will go ahead with the next session.
Yes.
Can you see the slide, madam?
Yes. So, dear children, so far you are hearing our presentation and you are understanding very well, very good. So now I am going to tell you what is the role of active bystanders. First, I will say who is, this is reminding about post-test and feedback. After that only you will get certificates. So who is a bystander? An individual who observes an act of violence, discrimination, or other problematic behavior, but are not its direct perpetrator. That means you are not abusing, but you are seeing somebody that he is doing the wrong thing. So you will become a bystander. And now, who is active bystander and who is passive bystander? Active bystander is who takes action to stop that action by standing by the victim, speaking for the victim, or acting to stop the violence. So he will become the active bystander. If you do all these things, you will be active bystander. And if you don't do anything, you won't intervene. Okay, it is going on, let it be. It may be due to social influence. ఇవన్నీ జరుగుతూ ఉంటాయిలే, why we should involve social influence and audience inhibiting. If I stop, suppose somebody will, if they see, they may take it wrong. That is audience inhibition. And fear of retaliation. You may be afraid, if I intervene, he may abuse me also, he may threaten me also. So you will keep quiet. That is called passive bystander. Okay, you might have understood active bystander and passive bystander. Okay, then if you are active bystander, what you have to do? There are 5 Ds. First one, next, there are 5 weapons for the active bystander. First one is 5 Ds. I am telling you, no. First one is distract. If you see a person doing wrong or abusing one person, you have to distract them. Distract them to doing that act. You pretend that you are lost the way. You go to them. Yeah, I've lost the way to reach some place. You please give me the address of that place. Like that, you can ask. And otherwise, you can pretend that you know the victim. Hi, how are you? Like that, you can address him. Pretend you know the person being harassed, or talk something irrelevant and take the attention of the harasser. Okay, you talk something to the victim. That is called distract. Second one is delay. You can delay the situation. Delaying can reduce the severity. Suppose if they are going on arguing or doing some conversation is heating up, if you delay that process, the severity will come down. And you ask the victim if she is okay. Are you okay? Then, and you can offer that victim, I will accompany you to your house, or let us sit somewhere and talk something for a while. That is called delay. Then the other thing is delegate. Suppose you have seen that abuse or something, you can take the assistance of a third person. Suppose you are near a shop, you can take the assistance from the shopkeeper. Suppose you are traveling in a bus, you can take the assistance of co-passenger or bus conductor. And if you are in a school, you can contact your teacher. You can go to the teacher and you can tell the teacher that is happening, let us go and intervene. That is delegate. And the fourth one is document. Whatever you are seeing, you try to document. First, you assess the situation. If any other person is helping the person harassed, okay? If not, use one of the other Ds. And if someone else is already helping out, and assess your own safety while photographing, taking a video and all that, that person may hit you. Why you are taking this video and all that? So assess your own safety first. Then only you start recording the incident. And always ask the person who has harassed what they want to do with the recording. Okay, you ask that person, that victimized person, what to do with this recording. Unless you take the consent of that person, you should not post it on any social media or forward in WhatsApp messages and all that. It is a wrong thing. First, you have to tell them that you have recorded the whole incident, and you have to ask them what they want to do with the video. Unless you ask them, you should not publicize that video or recording. Okay? Then, and the fifth one is direct. And incident has happened. You assisted that person, and you have taken the person from the toxic atmosphere. And what you ask the person who has been harassed, what he want to do. Directly respond to harassment by naming what is happening or confronting the harasser. You can directly ask that harasser, hey, what you are doing, you should not do that. Okay, like that you can ask. And this can be risky. The harasser may redirect their abuse towards you. If you say like that, he may turn towards you and he may abuse you. And this may escalate the situation. That's why you have to be very confident, you have to be very brave, and you have to assess the situation. Then only you can directly attack the harasser. So, what are the 5 Ds? Distract, delay, delegate, document, and direct. With these 5 Ds, you can help the victim. Okay? Then, and the golden rule is only you intervene if you think that you are safe. You intervene by calling the police. You have to dial 100 for police help or child helpline. That is 1098. You always remember. Police number is 100. What is a health emergency? Everybody know, I think. 108. Okay, then child helpline 1098. Okay, then, and not only this, like we are doing on this platform, no, like that you can assist one NGO if they are doing this type of activities. You can assist them. Okay. And you also can organize. Now you are attending these sessions. You can organize some short plays or some posters you can design and paste in your school, and you can prepare some stories, some scenarios. After this session, sometimes you can do all these things by in the form of stories, quizzes, or some competitions like that. And if somebody is doing, you have to appreciate them. If somebody is practicing such things, you have to appreciate them. So all these things are will tell you, will involve you in this type of programs. And sometimes you should not say wrong things to the victim, like why she has gone in the night, why she has parked the scooter near the petrol bunk. You have heard, no, in the Hyderabad recently it happened. One dental doctor was raped and killed. You might have all observed those news clippings and all that. Like that, why did she go to the in night, and why she has parked the scooter there, and why did she go alone in the night, and why she did not call the police, why she called her sister. It all happened in Hyderabad. Okay. So you should not say wrong things to any victim. You have to support her. Okay. I think I made a justice about explaining active bystander, passive bystander, and what they have to do and what you have to do. How can you support a victim like that? Okay. After the session, you have to take post-test and feedback. You have to give feedback and courageous together. You say no to violence against women. Hashtag Dheera together, and let us say no to the violence against women. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. You did a wonderful, wonderful job. Made it very simple for the student.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody wants to come forward and tell us what the 5 Ds are to act against violence? Really listening to us, noting it down.
One can come forward and tell.
Nicely they are coming forward.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, what's your name?
Meena.
Meena. Great, Meena. What are the 5 Ds?
Distract, delay, delegate, document, direct.
Oh,
Wow,
Very good.
that was very good.
Very fast.
Very fast, very prompt. Beautiful.
And
Helplines.
helpline police 100. Child helpline number 1098.
Yeah. Easy way to remember child helpline number 1098. Okay. And
Woman helpline.
they need not remember, ma'am. You just need to note down in their phone so that in an emergency, keep it in speed dial, be able to call someone when it is an emergency. Okay, just note down those numbers.
So, Meena, what do you feel about the program?
Useful for women. When we are in trouble, we should have called to police. We should interact with others to share our opinions and our problems with teachers and parents. Then we will get free.
Definitely. So the most important thing is don't stay silent.
Yes.
It's never the fault of the victim. If someone is doing something bad, those people have to be stopped. So unless people know that something is going wrong, no one can help us. Okay. So we have to take the first step forward. We hope that none of this we wouldn't need these classes in future, because we hope that all boys, all girls will progress together without any abuse. Okay, thank you.
All of you who have registered directly through your mail IDs will receive a mail after this program. Or else, if you don't receive, don't worry. I'll be sending the link to your principal, Sister Agnes. Through the link, again, you can go through, submit the post test and feedback, just like you did registration and pre-test. After you submit it, will take some time. The certificates will be generated and you'll all receive the certificates. Go ahead with the program, man.
Yeah. So you have been listening to what is violence, how to go about sharing this. And I'm Dr. Padmaja. I was the past president of our Vijayawada OB-GYN Society and Indian Society and the AP chapter of Indian Society of Assisted Reproduction. As Dr. Sailaja was our secretary, Dr. Lakshmi Rajam is a medical officer, a very senior practitioner. So all of us have decided to spend this time with you, and thank you all for also hurrying up your lunch and joining us, because we felt that change has to happen. And one of the changes that we are looking forward to in future is that there is no gender divide. So this is a part of the Dheera initiative by Dr. Shanta Kumari, who's the president of FOGSI, which has around 36,000 gynecologists working all over the country for the health of women. As you've already been told, your pre-test and registration is done. You need to finish your post-test and feedback to get the certificate from UNICEF. So looking at gender divide. Now, when you look at names like this, Nihar, Nirmal, Gunjan, so you automatically know it is a boy. If you look at a name like Sita, Nirmala, Jyoti, you know it is a girl. But gender these are socially decided concept. It does not mean that a girl cannot be named Sivakumari. It does not mean that a boy could not be named Lakshmi Narayana. So we don't need to think as soon as we see a name that it belongs to a particular thing. So when we look at characteristics, automatically when you see if someone is active, it does not classically how it was said that male are thought to be active, aggressive, creative, competitive, independent, leaders, and mechanical. And girls are thought to be, they can be creative, but usually they decided that they're emotional, artistic, and gentle. But these are not characters that definitely define us. We can have girls who are really competitive, who are independent, and who are leaders. We can have men who are gentle and emotional and loving towards their parents and their sisters and towards their pets. So we should not think that particular sex will have only these characters. But it has been ingrained in our culture, these sort of stereotypes. And if you see most of the movies, you see that the hero is bashing up half a dozen villains, throwing them away, killing them, the bloodshed and all this. So these are making violent behavior of the men into something of a hero. And if we look at parents also, even in our upbringing, if something a boy does, they're more likely to be thrashed than a girl. So, and parents also, if a boy is breaking something, they say, oh, boy will be a boy. They say if the girl breaks something, they say, don't be careless. So, and in our society, when girls show opinions or take up a leadership thing, they are considered more bossy rather than responsible. So these stereotypes have been coming down through the ages in our culture. And we believe that this is a social evil leading to women being oppressed officially and unofficially. And most of the time, girls are expected to behave submissively. And when you see till your 10th class, till your intermediate, till your professional colleges, in the classes, there will be equal number of girls and boys. But once they get married, once they have children, it is expected that the woman will quit the job And quite a large number of times, as you heard Dr. Sailaja, male babies are preferred. And in workplaces also, no consideration is given to pregnant women because everyone feels now she's having a baby, she's not going to come back to work. And there is a huge wage gap between the men and the women. And most of the time, no woman feels totally safe because of sexual harassment, teasing, catcalling. Women are worshipped. Women are called goddesses, but even if there is a tiny mistake, they're considered unworthy of goddesses. Women don't want to be goddesses. We don't want to be Ma Lakshmi. We don't want to be Ma Durga. We just want to be treated as a human being, as an equal, as a person. So it's not a level playing field. In fact, in some of the countries, voting rights are not there. India had voting rights for women right from the time of independence. Quite a large number of places, women don't have equal access to education. Child marriages and dowry are prevalent. Women are not given the opportunity to work. And usually, even if one man's voice is given more worth than many women, women also have less access to financial resources. And when we look into the different hierarchies or the politics, you see more number of men are there and women are not represented enough. What we feel is that this is not an acceptable situation. All of us have to work together as friends and allies to create a gender neutral, gender responsive, equal society, eliminating inequality and this gender bias. So it is not, we don't say that this sex is greater or that sex is weaker. What we want is everyone together, let us move forward. And boys, it's important that you do, it's not enough that you don't commit violence. That means just because you don't beat up a person, it does not mean that you're a good person. You must be willing to make sure that there is no other man ever commit such violence. And there are, as madam had told, active bystanders, stand up against violence. We want everyone to come forward to take these 8 active steps so that our society comes out in a much better shape. And one of the most important steps is share the care. You notice in the house, even when the woman is having a job, it is primarily her responsibility to do the cooking, the serving, the cleaning, the tidying up. Women take up more than 3 times unpaid domestic work than men. And lots of time when something goes wrong, everyone runs to the mother to help solve the problem. So the emotional labor in the entire family is there. So what we want everyone to do, boys and girls in your family, appreciate those who are loving you unconditionally. Your mother is doing so much for you. So just give her a hug a day and say, thank you, mom, for making me my breakfast. Respect the sacrifices that she made and offer to help in any way you can. Don't just go home, throw your bag at the couch, sit on the sofa and expect your mother to get something for you. Help her. And even your mother, even your sister is a person in herself. So encourage them to have some interest, take up their own interest. If they want to go out shopping, do accompany them. If they love wearing flowers, try to bring them some flowers. So small things like this, sharing the care helps a lot. And most importantly, hold yourself accountable for every action, because you can't say in the society, this is accepted. You should say, is this type of behavior acceptable? So be aware. And if someone criticizes you, look upon it. Someone said something about you. Is there an element of truth in this? Can I change something whenever we recognize toxic behavior? These are extremely old-fashioned notions that men don't cry, they have to be strong. And so it is important that allow yourself the freedom to break from norms. Question and challenge the stereotypes. Don't excuse abusive behavior telling men will be men. And make it fashionable to be a sensible man, a caring man, a loving man. rather than telling that we will sit on top of the food chain. And we believe that people who care, as Madam had told you previously, compassionate towards everything around you, compassionate towards nature, compassionate to your fellow beings, compassionate to situations. This is the type of men who will change the generation. Men do cry, men get anxiety, they have emotions. Sometimes they're insecure, they can break down. And there are lots of instances where men have been abused, have mental health issues. So it is okay to struggle. Let us also support men, encourage the men, and if they come out with a problem, not belittle them. And one of the important things is, it is important to respect others' choices. You might not agree with everything the opposite person says, but when you're uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Am I biased? Consider the circumstances that you're in your life. Suppose you are coming to school. There might be in a circumstance in someone's house where they could not come for education, where their parents cannot afford to send them. So don't judge and shame them because they have made bad choices. And it is important to understand that consent is what is freely given. Consent can be changed. Consent should be given only after knowing about a situation. It should be specific and it should be a definite, enthusiastic one. And we should not be saying that boys will tease. So it is never an acceptable situation. So don't blame the victim and understand that consent means yes, no means no. And whenever you see an abuse, a sexism, a bad behavior happen anywhere around you, especially women experience this at least once a week, it is important to call it out. Say, this sort of behavior is called sexism and this is not acceptable. Be an active bystander, stand up with the victim, and do not make excuses even if they're friends, relatives, or co-workers. You see it happening in any situation. Please stand up for justice. Challenge the gender stereotyping by questioning ourselves and our prejudice. And quite a large number of times you see when there is a car going ahead of you, it is going slow, they're not giving way. If it's a woman driver, they say, oh, women drive like this. So it is not like that. Women can also be good at driving. It could be that the women are more considerate. They don't like to go fast, take a break and honk violently. So counteract such stereotype statements made by anyone with the facts by verifying them. And as Dr. Rajlakshmi has already told you, believe in survivors. If there is a situation that is very bad, that is very traumatic, it takes a lot of courage for that woman or child to speak about it. And if the atmosphere is so toxic that the victim will not be heard, then how can they come out? So when we listen to a survivor story, listen, believe, and support. And the support should be unconditional and we should be a friend of them. And when we look at even Google searches, women, as soon as they say, automatically it will give you prompts, stay at home, not work, should be seen, not heard. So these narratives are not acceptable. So we need a gender neutral society. We can be anything at any time. And women are one of the best time managers, best multitaskers, because they are managing children, cooking, homework, tidying up the house, jobs, planning not only for their work, they're planning even for their husbands and children's work. So that much amount of work, how can a woman do if she is not strong enough? I'm sure we are reminding you again and again, you need to do the post-test and the feedback. And what we want is everyone to be together, tweet 1 lakh voices, add your courageous voice to the conversation and say, we will not tolerate bad behavior. We will not tolerate violence against women. Sister Agnes, you've been listening to so many talks from there. So how are you feeling about the program? Could you give us some feedback?
Good afternoon, dear ma'ams.
Good afternoon, sister.
So we are privileged to have 3 of you with us here on this day. And we here all together, 100 of us are attending your talk. 3 of you were talking on different items, different topics, which are connected to the present world and also especially in India, this age group especially. So it is very useful at present age, students being in 10th class, intermediate and degree and PG, who are going to face tomorrow also. And they are going to be the future citizens whom they have to trust. And they have to be strong in the future. And they are the people who are going to save their own family members as a mother or a father or a sister, brother. And they are the one who have to support the society and the women, also the men. So it is very apt for us, and we are privileged to have 3 of you very gently. You have explained to us very clearly, and I hope our students have understood it, and they are also listening to you, noting down so many points. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity today. And it was really amazing that within few days time, Dr. Sailaja have made possible for us. I didn't expect this, but suddenly it happened, such a thing, but it is good for us. I really thank 3 of you for your wonderful speech and explanation on this.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. And sister, if any of your other schools you want any more sessions, do contact Selja. We are always there for the children.
Yes, sure.
Going to the last talk. Just a moment. Till now, we've been telling you how we expect you to respond to different situations that we hope you never ever face, but if you face, how to do about it. This last talk that in 10 minutes we're going to go through is how to decode and withstand peer pressure. And in this, we want to talk to you about toxic environment, what is good and bad touch, what is the concept that I just introduced to you about consent, and how powerful the word no is. Please do give us your post-test and feedback. You will get a certificate coming from FOGSI, which represents 36,000 gynecologists all over the country, and UNICEF, which is the world organization that looks into children. And this will be a good certificate in your resume. So when you grow up, go out for job or anything in your CV, when they ask extracurricular activities, what have you done? You can say, I'm a part of Dheera. And we will be proud that if you can say that for us. What do we mean by peer pressure? It is basically influence of the children, whoever is around you, your peer. If you're a child, if you're an adult, to have behavior and habits of the group. Sometimes it is very subtle, but it has ginormous effects. If you can see in this, a kid walked into a school, into a group where everyone is having bruises. Someone is having a bleeding nose, someone is having a black eye. So the person thinks, okay, fine, maybe this is the fashion, and goes and bashes himself up and is happy to be injured and be a part of that group. Isn't that stupid behavior? So why should we do things that have no logic just to be accepted in a group? It should never ever be that. But that subtle pressure that is there, which can be spoken, unspoken, it can sometimes be direct. An act, you know that it is wrong, where smoking is a bad habit, but then when you're young, you want to experiment, and someone in your colleagues or your friends is smoking, and they hand over a cigarette to you. So that is a sort of direct. Sometimes it can be indirect by spreading malicious gossip and so that sort of behavior can be a negative peer pressure, because inherently each one of us knows what is right, what is wrong. So when we go against our moral code and do something bad, it is negative. But among your group, if you have people who are studying well, who are doing well in sports, who are doing well in social activities, and you decide to imitate them and move forward, that is positive peer pressure. And that is what we want as an influence. If you can see in this picture, the girl is hugging a person who's thinking it's a friend. But because this person is a fake friend, has malicious instincts, they're being stabbed in the back. So signs of this toxic environment is when the people who you think are your friends make you feel bad. They put terms to friendship. Friendship and love should be unconditional. But they say, we will be friends with you only if you bunk school and come to us with a movie. So you're never ever sure where you stand with them, because sometimes they talk to you, sometimes they don't talk. And if there is a constant negative gossip, and if you feel that you're having to work very hard, if they don't respect your boundaries and pressurize you into doing things that you don't want to do, making you feel that you have to compete among them to be popular, and you that a mistake, they will leave you, and they encourage you to put up, or to, all of us have bad traits. We also get angry, we are also jealous of something. So but if your friends are always encouraging your worst traits, recognizing that this is a toxic environment, and you need to start trying to avoid these uncomfortable situations. Don't go out with strangers, because they're a friend of a friend of a friend. Don't think they're your friends. And whenever you're going out, make sure that your parents or your family or your sisters or brothers know where you are. Always take your phone with you, and even you should respect and draw boundaries. And whenever you're not comfortable with anything, be confident, say no. And if you sense danger, the number 100 for the police is always with you. And remember, learn the difference, in finding out toxic people. We need to recognize these people are toxic, so that can be cleansed. And boys are to avoid other boys who are rude to their friends, who don't respect your physical boundaries, who say that women have to be looked up down upon, who are nowadays, with a click of the button, so much porn is available on the net. So if someone is showing you pictures like that, someone who is starting fine, someone who is using bad words and commenting on other people and a girl, or making jokes, especially about such bad situations like rape, these boys have to be avoided. Only when you say you will not put up with bad behavior will you be able to get away from it. Girls need to avoid thinking that men should not cry. It is okay for their boyfriends to slap them. And the friendship is made only to gain something. And when the physical boundaries are not being met, and girls should never think that men can all men being abusive or in a bad situation is okay. So we can put up boundaries, whichever you're comfortable with. So in a situation when you're going, if you, initially itself you say, my mother told me that I have to get home by 8 o'clock, then the group knows that this is your boundary and you don't go beyond that. So when you don't like where the conversation is going, you can very subtly tell them, I'm not comfortable with this. If you continue to talk on phone so abusively, I'm not going to respond to you. I will not respond to your emails on a weekend. So things like that, you can always tell the person opposite. And the concept of good touch and bad touch, I'm sure you all know, but we are highlighting once again that no person should, the picture in red, you can see these are the areas no person should be allowed to touch unless you give explicit consent. So no touching on the mouth, no touching on the chest area, no touching on the private parts. The only place where it is socially acceptable to touch is hands. In this COVID era, we are not even shaking hands, we are not even holding hands. So our age-old Indian tradition of namaste is a very good thing. If you're comfortable with the other person, if it's someone very close, touching on the neck and shoulders, or the legs or the head, someone pats you on your head, it might be an okay touch, but that is only if you're okay with it. It should never be done if the other person does not like it. So what we want to also re-emphasize is the concept of consent. Consent is permission for doing anything. Always ask. Do not assume that that person will be okay, and respect the consent of them, and don't ever force someone to give consent. No always means no. Leave me alone means no. Get away from me means no. Don't means no. Screaming means no. And only when you say yes, that is a freely given consent. And whenever you're in a situation you're not comfortable with, you should be strong enough to say no. Don't say, okay, I think so, maybe, when you're not comfortable with the situation. Always say no. You can also subtly do it by leaving the scene, telling, see you later. Make up an excuse, telling that, oh, I suddenly forgot I have to be here, let me go. And you can use humor, like telling, if my parents found, if my mother is a very strict person, if she knew about it, she will thrash me. Or you can change the subject, or you can also change their mind by suggesting a better idea. If they say, let us go throw stones at this lights or something like that, you can say, instead of that, let us go out to the park and do some skating. So always remember, we all know what is right, what is wrong. So listen to your gut instinct. What we want is that the future belongs to you. So unless the generation, your generation, learns to respect women right from a young age, and remember that little girls dream and some women have vision. So that is what we want. And as Malala, the Nobel Prize winner, said, I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world. She stood up against the Taliban because she believed in education, and the whole world stood behind her by awarding her the Nobel Peace Prize. So you've all done the registration and the pre-test. We want you to do the post-test and give the feedback. And we give a sincere thanks to all the people who collaborated on the project in Team Dheera. You can see the number of people doctors who worked, and the contributors to the slides. All this was a work over 2 years. And these are the artists and slides whom we thankfully acknowledge for giving us this platform to say courageously together, no to violence against women. Let's tweet together, add your voice to our conversation, and let's keep going forward to a society that allows every individual to flourish to the maximum of their capacity. We stand by each other and all of us move forward together. Thank you very much for the patient hearing. And if you can have any other teacher coming forward or any child coming forward to say anything, we'll be very happy. So all the children, do you agree that we should have a better world? Do we want change or not? Do we want change? Yes or no? You can all say. Are you very happy with what is happening around you, or would you like to see some change?
I think their voice is not audible.
Okay. So you can ask someone to come forward, sister. Good evening, madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Prasanna. I'm handling physical science. I'm very much happy to join in this session.
Please. Thank you, Prasanna Garu.
Thank you so much for your valuable ideas and all to presenting to students, ma'am.
Yes.
Definitely encourage the students to open their mouths regarding this kind of things and all.
So the thing is that somehow we feel that the stereotyping and superiority that should go, because all are equal. So we want that. We want girls to be able to speak out. We want boys to be able to reach out a helping hand. So that is the change we are looking for.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
as a teacher, we will also encourage the children to open their mouths and share the things what are happening.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Andy. Thank you for all being there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, children, for being there. And we hope that it will start the thought process, the thinking. Listen to yourself, know what is right, what is wrong. And it is not okay to just not do something wrong. It is important that you stand up for what is right. And then we will be able to move forward. Sister Agnes, if you have any closing remarks.
According to me, everything was clear, I hope. I don't know, according to the students, whether they understood something.
Yeah.
Already 3 of them have expressed their views about that they have understood.
Yeah.
They have noted down also some of the points which are useful for them.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much for providing us an opportunity to interact with you all. And it has been a great pleasure to be with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if it's okay, we will close the session and Dr. Selja will get back to you.
Sure.
Okay. Dr. Lakshmirajam Garu, do you have anything to say, madam?
No, it is very important for the children to know what is right and what is wrong. And they must end the divide, gender divide, they have to end. And whatever is happening, bad thing is happening, it has to be reported. And they should not be silent. It has to be reported and action has to be taken. Suppose some friend is doing wrong thing, they can stop that one and they can continue this process by having some discussion, class discussions in their classes, or doing some posters like that we have advised, And I have seen some grown up boys, like married men, while doing this violence against women, if she questions, they used to say, I have seen in my childhood that my father used to argue with my mother. He used to abuse. So I think it is the our right to abuse the woman. So from this age, they have to respect the girl. And at home also, if father is doing something wrong, these boys have to stop and they should understand this is not the correct behavior. And they should be a good, they should transform to a good man, good father, good husband, like that. That is my message. I have seen in some cases. That's why I'm telling.
Thank
Trouble
you, Dr.
childhood.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi Rajan Garu. And I hope that in future, we will not have to conduct sessions like this. That is the ideal world where we want to go to. Thank you, Sister Agnes, and we will take leave of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.